Welcome to Seize the Mains by Raj Malhotra's IS Academy. I am Surbhi Sardana and this is Season 3 of our Daily Answer Writing Initiative. This initiative means and aims to teach you answer writing so that you can score very high on mains. मेंस में अच्छे मार्क्स लेने के लिए आपको बहुत ज़्यादा आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस करना ज़रूरी है. So this is an initiative that runs free of cost, teaches you step by step with the help of one question answer every day that how to approach tough questions or critical questions in UPSC or state civil services mains exams. Also, we discuss topics here strictly from current affairs which can be seen in your next UPSC civil services mains. How this initiative runs is that we ask you a question on a daily basis every day at 9 p.m. The answer discussion for that question takes place and the question is also uploaded on our website in the mains answer writing section, that is at rajisacademy.com, the link to which is in the description below. In the mains answer writing section you will see this list of questions and you can choose to answer any of the questions you want to practice. आपने किसी भी question पर practice करनी हो तो आप उसका sample answer लिखकर question के नीचे दिए comment section में उसका जवाब post कर सकते हैं, type कर सकते हैं, photo share कर सकते हैं उसकी. I recommend कि आप latest question के ही answers share करें, latest question के answers जल्दी से जल्दी share करें so that you know our team can evaluate your answers here in the comment section as soon as possible. तो जो हमारी टीम आपको feedback देती है that is a very descriptive feedback. It is not like other websites which just mark you or just you know send you 2 words of comments. हमारी टीम बहुत ही descriptive line by line comments देती है and आपको marks भी award करती है. So a very realistic approach, a very realistic initiative which can definitely help you get good marks in mains and prepare for mains next year if you're planning to take the next attempt. So let's begin. The topic for today is draft e-waste management rules. This topic discussion was taken by Mr. Madhu at 3 p.m. on our YouTube channel in the weekly current affairs session. So if you're not aware of the draft e-waste rules, after watching this question answer discussion, do watch that video as well. So the question, we are at day 107. I know the YouTube video that you clicked on is like showing some other day, but yes, on website we have more questions as compared to the YouTube videos we have out there. So this is question for day 107 and it demands you that briefly underline the challenges associated with the draft e-waste management rules of 2022. Answer in 150 words. Very simple question, but see, reading some rules or reading some act is one thing and being able to critically analyze that कि उसके क्या challenges हो सकते हैं, क्या problems हो सकती है, that is another thing. The good part is कि किसी भी government initiative से related जो भी challenges होते हैं हमें daily basis पर newspapers में editorials की form में देखने के लिए मिलते हैं. Whatever challenges or issues are there with any of the government initiatives, we see a lot of critical discussion happening in the everyday newspapers in the editorial section that we read. So addressing the negative part I would suggest, or addressing the challenges part if it is ever asked in the question in UPSC, it is much simpler क्योंकि उसके लिए content हमारे पास ready-made होता है. There are a lot of thinkers who write in newspapers. So again, I would categorize this as a simple question because many newspapers like the Hindu, the Indian Express and the magazine Down to Earth have covered it on their website in their various articles. So इसके लिए content बहुत easily available है. In fact, whenever we upload the answer to this question, we will also link the articles where we have taken the contents from on the website itself. Let's see how to approach this question. First of all, look at the word limit. It is just 150 words. So this answer has one component only. Your 150 words questions इनमें multiple components भी हो सकते हैं. ऐसा ही नहीं है कि आपसे सिर्फ एक question पूछा जाएगा, but इस question में सिर्फ एक ही component है. So briefly underline the challenges associated with the draft e-waste management rules 2022. Challenges पूछे गए हैं. They have asked you the challenges associated with these e-waste management rules and recently the notification has come that they will be implemented from April 2023. April 2023 से ये rules जो हैं ये applicable होंगे. So first of all, when you have to start your answer, it has to have a good structure. even if the examiner doesn't know about anything, it should he should be able to understand that at least you know what you are writing. तो आपने जब challenges लिखना है उससे पहले आपने थोड़ा सा एक brief background भी देना है about how e-waste management happens in India, what are the rules and when did they get active, and then highlight that what was the problem with the previous rules. previous rules के साथ क्या problem थी कि अब amendment लाई जा रही है या नए rules लाए जा रहे हैं. This is very crucial whenever you are asked about anything in your mains exam. You have to give a background because the background will reflect your understanding of the topic. The body paragraph will be known to everyone, features, challenges, issues, pros, cons सबको पता होते हैं जिन्होंने पढ़ाई की है, लेकिन एक background पता होना, the need of something that should be clear to you, and if it is clear to you, make sure that you add it in your answer and highlight it there. So introduction best तरीका होता है अपना background knowledge represent करने का, अपना background knowledge दिखाने का. Introductions are the best way out to show your background knowledge to the examiner. So let's see what is the background knowledge we have here. First of all, we'll define e-waste कि e-waste से हम क्या समझते हैं. If you feel that defining e-waste is not something that you want, then go strictly directly go to how e-waste is handled in India. Let's begin. So in the first line, just if you can look at it closely, it says electronic waste or e-waste is any waste that comprises of all types of electrical and electronic equipment that has or could enter the waste stream. जो कि ऐसे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक या इलेक्ट्रिकल कंपोनेंट्स जो कि वेस्ट स्ट्रीम में एंटर कर सकते हैं, यानी कि वेस्ट में तब्दील हो सकते हैं. सो इट इंक्लूड्स टीवीज, कंप्यूटर्स, मोबाइल फोन्स, वाइट वेयर्स एट्सेट्रा एट्सेट्रा. ACs can be there can be so many other electrical equipments. Now this line, second line, is optional, that whether you want to give examples of all the things that can turn into electronic waste, that is completely optional. आप दो तीन चीज़ें लिख कर भी उसके आगे एट्सेट्रा यूज़ करके आप वहाँ पर अपना लाइन स्टॉप कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज दिस इज जस्ट अ 150 words answer. Also, now this point is important. The third line, this is very important, that these waste contain substances like polychlorinated biphenyls, lead, mercury, cadmium, brominated flame retardants, etc. अब ये point important क्यों है? First of all, don't be afraid, don't get scared about all these tough terms. This point is important because it highlights that e-waste or any electronic component that converts itself, that gets converted into waste or is lying here and there, has the capability to release these harmful or I would say hazardous chemicals. तो आपने इनमें से दो तीन chemicals के नाम आपको मालूम होने चाहिए जो कि electronic components से produce होते हैं when they turn into waste. This line is very important because इस line की वजह से ही because of this reason, that because e-waste is a major environmental hazard, that's why the first rules came in 2011. So these are detrimental to human health and environment. Then right now, laws to manage e-waste have been in place in India since 2011, mandating, and यहाँ पर आपने 2011 से बोल दिया कि इस problem की वजह से, because there was this hazardous health effects that were happening, that's why there were rules or regulations to manage e-waste which are active in India since 2011. And what is their feature? एक feature लिखेंगे, mandating that only authorized dismantlers and recyclers collect e-waste. So under the rules of 2011, it was mandated कि जो सिर्फ authorized and authorized dismantlers and recyclers can only collect e-waste, nobody else can do it. Now highlight the problem कि अगर 2011 से इंडिया में अगर rules active हैं, then what is the problem? Why are we coming up with new rules? So however, majority of the e-waste, that is 90% generated in the country, ends up in the informal sector. Informal sector जहाँ पर authorized dismantlers नहीं काम कर रहे, people dismantle e-waste because they get money out of it, and hence even if they are aware or unaware of the hazardous chemicals this e-waste is releasing, they carry out the dismantling process in the informal sector, which recycles and dismantles the electronics, flouting all the regulations. किन regulations की बात हो रही है? इन regulations की, flouting all the regulations and standards on environmental safety and human health. So the problem of e-waste in India is also increased or compounded by the illegal import of e-waste that happens or illegal dumping from the डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज़. डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज़ में इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स बहुत जल्दी से डंप किए जाते हैं, थोड़े से यूज़ के बाद ही डंप कर दिए जाते हैं बिकॉज दे आर फाइनेंशियली वेरी अफोर्डेबल. इन इंडिया इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स आर क्वाइट एक्सपेंसिव, बट इफ़ यू गो टू डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज़ अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर करेंसी, electronics are very much affordable because the majorly the production happens there, production or assembly that happens in developed countries. So now you have talked about the definition, you've talked about examples, you've talked about that why e-waste is a problem and what regulations in India are there regarding e-waste and what is the problem with these regulations. अब जब आपने प्रॉब्लम की बात कर दी है, now the solution with the government was to bring out new rules or to bring an amendment in the previous rules. That's why we have the new draft e-waste rules 2022 which will be implemented from 2023. So the most recent amendment is the draft e-waste management rules of 2022 which shall come into effect in 2023. The following challenges can be seen with these rules. Let's see what are the challenges now. Again, this content has been taken from an article of the Hindu, and let's see what does it have to say, what are the points that we've got, what are the challenges that we understand कि इन rules में भी क्या problems है जो कि सरकार को address कर रहे होना चाहिए. So the first challenge is the introduction of e-waste market. See earlier under the extended producer responsibility, जो भी कंपनी आपको इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सप्लाई करती थी या जो भी अथॉरिटी आपको electronic components, whether it is mobile phones, TVs, refrigerators, whosoever was supplying, he had this extended producer responsibility, EPR. So under EPR, under this extended producer responsibility, उन्हें almost आपका कुछ amount of वही प्रोडक्ट्स उनको वापस आपसे कलेक्ट करने होते थे एंड दे हैड टू बी रिसाइकल्ड और दे हैड टू बी डम्प्ड इन एन एनवायरमेंटली सेफ मैनर. सो इट वाज द ड्यूटी ऑफ द प्रोड्यूसर हिमसेल्फ. अब क्या हो गया है कि द percentage will not be counted according to the collection that they are taking from you, collection of e-waste, that will not be accounted for. What the government is switching to, that how much percentage of the collected e-waste is actually recycled. So the government has set a target कि 2023 से 60% of the e-waste should be recycled by these producers of electronic waste, या जो producing companies हैं जो कि electronics produce करती हैं, उन्हें 60% recycle करना है. So the first challenge is the introduction of e-waste market that appears to be unrealistic. यहाँ पर e-waste recycling certificates भी दिए जाएंगे. So as of now they say that 2023 is just here. We are almost in 2023 and implementing this e-waste market or e-waste certificates from 2023, it appears to be very unrealistic now, because as of now the producers are not even able to fulfill the previous percentage of collection of e-waste. अब वो recycle पर एक 60% is a very high percentage that has been set. So how will it be collected? How will it be assessed? That remains a challenge, and this e-waste market appears to be unrealistic. So this shift from collection rate targets, which set targets for collection of e-waste as a percentage of quantity of products in the current rules, to recycling rate targets in the proposed rules appears to be unrealistic, which is 60%. That is a very high percentage. The obviously we write here very descriptive points. You must be seeing कि ये 150 words में तो आंसर नहीं पूरा हो रहा. We totally agree with that, but to explain you and to give you a lot of hints for the answer, we take a descriptive approach. In your answer, this line should not extend beyond 30 words. 30 words से ज़्यादा इस लाइन में content नहीं आएगा. This is just for your explanation. Whatever meaning you are generating out of the explanation that we are giving to you, that is your final content. Then based on European experience, it has been seen that the regulators face more difficulties in monitoring and enforcing recycling targets than the collection targets. So they say that first of all, ये जो e-waste market है, that is unrealistic, and based on experiences of Western countries, especially European countries जहाँ पे e-waste इतना ज़्यादा generate होता है, so they say it is very hard to monitor recycling targets को ध्यान में रखना या उन पे एक चेक रखना बहुत ज़्यादा मुश्किल होता है. But the present draft is silent on whether the rules will apply to aggregate weight, कि कितना वेट रिसाइकल किया गया है, और टू एवरी कंपोनेंट ऑफ एन ई प्रोडक्ट, या कितने प्रोडक्ट्स रिसाइकल किए गए हैं, कितना वेट रिसाइकल किया गया है. सो under this 60% that has not been specified or made clear, so this will become even tougher. Then there is large scale recycling of e-waste is still in its infancy in India. बहुत ही infant stage में है. We do not have the technology, plus almost 90% of the recycling it happens in the informal sector, and जो technologies used हैं they are very unsafe and inefficient, and at this time, you know, regulating this without putting proper measures in place, that is not a very realistic approach. The next one is that the government has to focus on existing formal and informal players, and they have to be integrated. Now, you know, if in the informal sector also there are people who know how to handle e-waste, so they cannot be put aside, because in any case they will be recycling the e-waste even when the government decides not to. So that will keep on happening in parallel. So the government has to integrate the formal sector and the informal players who are actually recycling e-waste. But to integrate the informal players, there has to be a plan, there has to be a strategy. So this responsibility of integration of formal sector and informal sector in recycling of e-waste has been put on state governments. State governments will have to do this, but no incentives have been mentioned and no resource allocation has been mentioned as of now, and no strategy or plan has been given out to state governments as to how to implement this. So that is a problem. Also, the proposed regulators do not specify the this was the thing that we were talking about. The point here is that the draft rules are silent on regulating registered collectors, dismantlers and producer responsibility organization. There is no regulation for the already existing registered collectors, also dismantlers and producer responsibility organization, because a lot of corruption is happening at this end also. The topic that we discussed right now regarding state government is at number 5. This one is regarding the regulators that are already in the game. Then the last one is that the other major change is the introduction of a steering committee. Now the steering committee will look after the implementation of these rules and any changes that need to be brought in. So overall implementation, monitoring and supervision of the regulations lies with this steering committee, and the chairman of Central Pollution Control Board would be the chairman of this steering committee as well. A very good step. A lot of efficient implementation and monitoring will occur, but there is a downside to this, that no scientists and technical experts have been put on the steering committee. So if technical experts are not there, if scientists are not there, then who is going to tell the bureaucrats or the steering committee that which waste or which chemical is harmful or potentially hazardous for the environment and for human health? There has to be some specialist on the team. So there is a lack of representation in the committee. For instance, there is no representation from science, academia and civil society organization. For example, your NGOs, which actually carry out a lot of groundwork, carry out a lot of work on the ground level, and they tell the government that what is the actual impact of e-waste or any other practice that is being carried out in India. So no people from civil society organizations, no specialists. So how will the steering committee efficiently function or be prepared for any challenges in future? For example, see, many of the waste or many of the chemicals that are being generated in the environment, we realize their side effects or bad impacts decades later when they have been when their presence has been when they become omnipresent. जब उनको टैकल करना बहुत ज़्यादा मुश्किल हो जाता है, then the doctors realize कि इस केमिकल से ये प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, so this chemical should be kept in check. So if you have specialists and technical experts in the steering committee itself, then that research can be carried out in the initial phases only. The chemical will not lose control and be omnipresent in the environment. So that's why having scientists and technical experts is very important. In the conclusion, always about the draft rules which the government has said that we are about to implement them. So in the conclusion, you cannot criticize, just say that it is about implementation. We have to see how the implementation happens. The people have to be made aware. The more motivation needs to be there in the citizenry as well to handle and dispose of e-waste as enthusiastically as they buy electronic products whenever they can afford or whenever they feel like that they need new products. So there has to be enthusiasm with regards to disposing of e-waste as well. They should not just throw them down in the trash cans. They should know that how to dispose of e-waste, whom to give to, and they should also be made aware about this extended producer responsibility and the new rules that are coming up. So awareness and implementation is something you can talk about in the conclusion. The other thing you can talk about is that this illegal incoming or illegal dumping of e-waste that happens from the developed countries into India, yes, it gives, you know, employment opportunities to a lot of people, but that is hazardous employment. So that has to be checked in, and these people, they rather need to be employed in the organized sector. This needs to be their employment needs to be formalized. So that's the conclusion for the day. While you watch this video, this entire answer has been uploaded on our website rajisacademy.com. So go to the description, it will take you to our website, and in the mains answer writing section, click on question number 107 to read out this full answer. And I hope that this video motivates you to write a sample answer of your own and practice with us. So post it on our website for this Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whenever you feel right, or even later than that. Post the mock answers, post the sample answers on our website, and our team will evaluate them for you. Stay tuned to our channel. All the best for your preparation and have a happy weekend. I'll see you on Monday with another discussion.